Welcome back to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today we're examining a fascinating cognitive pattern, optimism bias, which explains our tendency to overestimate the likelihood of positive outcomes while underestimating negative ones. Optimism bias is more than just positive thinking. It's a systematic error in how we process probabilities about our future. Think of it like consistently believing we'll arrive at our destination faster than reality, even when past experience proves otherwise. A fascinating historical example comes from the construction of the Sydney Opera House. Initially planned to cost $7 million and complete in 1963, the project ultimately cost $102 million and finished in 1973. The planner's optimism bias led them to underestimate both the technical challenges and the time required, demonstrating how this cognitive bias can lead to massive miscalculations in complex projects. In the modern business world, SpaceX provides an illuminating example of countering optimism bias. The company deliberately plans for multiple rocket landing failures in their development process, setting aside resources and testing sites for numerous attempts. While competitors often present optimistic timelines for rocket development, SpaceX's approach of expecting and budgeting for failures has helped them achieve sustainable progress in reusable rocket technology. Their methodology of planning for setbacks while working towards ambitious goals shows how acknowledging and accounting for optimism bias can lead to more reliable, long-term success. So, how can we apply optimism bias awareness in our daily lives? First, practice reference class forecasting. Instead of relying on gut feelings about future outcomes, look at actual data from similar past situations. This means basing estimates on historical results rather than optimistic projections. It's like planning a road trip based on previous journey times rather than best-case scenarios. Second, implement the pre-mortem technique. Before starting projects, imagine they've failed and work backward to identify potential causes. This helps surface risks that optimism might mask. It's like mentally rehearsing what could go wrong before it actually does. Third, develop what I call reality benchmarking. Regularly compare your predictions against actual outcomes to calibrate your forecasting ability. This means keeping a record of your estimates and checking them against results. It's like maintaining a personal scorecard of your predictive accuracy. In conclusion, understanding optimism bias helps us make more realistic plans and better decisions. By recognizing our tendency to be overly optimistic, we can build in appropriate buffers and safeguards. In a world that often rewards positive thinking, this mental model helps us balance optimism with realism. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your plans be realistic and your forecasts be accurate. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker.